I want to welcome each one of you here today, and thank you so much for being here. It is a delight and an honor for all of you to be in this room today. I would be remiss if I said today that I didn't have the most wonderful family on the face of the earth. My dad, Jesse and Evelyn Deen, served in the legislature for 16 years. He absolutely preceded Deen, Larry Deen, and laid the ground foundation for the Deen name in Bossier. He didn't only do that as a wonderful, effective representative that was working in District 9 that had just been created when Fort Stinson and Walter Bigby had been in a district that had been split. Daddy left with great honors on top, with great integrity. He was said by his peers that he was one of the only people down there that could not be bought. And I'm real honored to have Jesse Deen as my father. I'm real honored to have Evelyn Deen as my mother. They're great people. And I would be remiss if I told you today that we also got a wonderful sister, Debbie and Pam, Pam and Debbie Hayes and Pam Williamson, and Dwayne Deen. My brother would have been here, but he couldn't figure out how to. It's a little above his pay grade, so the geography bound him up, so he couldn't get here. But if I could ever do him a map, I would do that. He's a big, tall boy, walks slow, and he's very methodical, and he's a great guy. Let me tell you about the love of my life, Bobby Deen. 15 years ago, God brought Bobby Deen into my life. You know, so much. He's a wonderful helpmate, and I would do anything on this earth for Bobby Deen. Let me tell you guys, if you want some exciting news about a poll that we just had run, I was so excited to run a poll with Vern Kennedy. Dr. Vern Kennedy is a wonderful pollster. He's been in the Shreveport area for many years, great credibility. Dr. Vern Kennedy polled Deen as far as the Bossier Sheriff's Office in January, and these are some of his synopsis results. 91% of the people were satisfied with the job for the Bossier Sheriff's Office. 75% of the people in the Bossier Sheriff's Office was satisfied and said that we were above average compared to other offices. 74% of the people in a trial heat said that they would vote for, 74% of the people said they would vote for Larry Deen if he actively campaigned for sheriff. Dr. Vern Kennedy said, given the anti-incumbency feeling across the country, this is one of the highest re-elect scores that he's seen. He said that with thousands out there that he's involved in, he said he seldom finds someone that can be recalled over 59%. A favorable of 70% is unheard of, and we struck the great number of 74. So let's say this isn't today to do anything about Larry Deen, because let me tell you about Larry Deen. Larry Deen is an elected official. Larry Deen is a servant. Larry Deen is a sheriff. It was a great and mighty team around Larry Deen. And let me take just a moment, if I could, and to say this to each person in here. From the great undersheriff that we've got running this department now, doing a fantastic job, to the newest hired deputy that just was sworn in. Each one of you are so important. Yesterday, a good example, boots on the ground, burger in a home in North Bossier. Call comes in, bloodhounds begin to track. Our patrolman turns into bloodhounds on the track. We had them in custody, cuffs on them, and had them in jail within 2 hours. This is standing tall with law enforcement. I want to thank for each one of you guys doing the approval of excellence. You are the very best that I know. I commend you so much. A special thanks today to the Bossier Sheriff's Posse. Bossier Sheriff's Posse. I went out with Sheriff Arpaio, brought that back. It's been phenomenal. We've had it here a number of years, and we absolutely have increased visibility so much in Bossier. I want to thank you so much for that. Posse, there's not words that can cover. Thank you enough, not only from me, but from the great people on this great pole. The Reserve Division, Reserve Patrol Division, thank you. To the Exodus Emergency Volunteers Division, thank you. To the Executive Board with the Sheriff's Office, thank you. To the DIRT, the Emergency Responders. These are the boys that run the track hose, backhoes, bulldozers, and when the storms come through, instantly they're out there cleaning off trees off people's homes. Most of the time, before even the Central Command has been notified. I want to thank Operation Blessing. Operation Blessing is a 501c3 that feeds people in 2 locations, and all the volunteers that do that. Today we have $86,000 in Operation Blessing money, and we're able to give this money out to all of the people that need help in Bossier. It's so special. It's so special. I want to thank the Posse Auxiliary. Special thanks to some of these people that are seated on my left today now. And as sincere as I can form words, Mayor George DeMint, Mayor Lowalker, and Attorney Jimmy Hall, I cannot tell you guys how much you guys, you three, the team that you put together, spun Larry Deen and the Sheriff's Office out of the dark ages. You brought us from having to lay off people. The second year we had to borrow money. The second year I had to lay off 8 deputies. Had to cut the budget below the benchmark and go to work. You guys included us when no one else included us. You included us and brought us to the table, and you allowed us to protect from the gaming revenue. What did that do? It began to build many buildings. I turned it in to a capital fund and didn't do a reoccurring expenditure fund, and we were able to do things like the first 800 radio frequency, the now 700 radio frequency, Bossier Viking substation that we're in, Benton substation at Marine Building, and Low again. And Jimmy, thank you for the graciousness you've done there on the property that belonged to the city. You've worked with us like a brother. And I can't tell you how much a large reason of our success level as to where we are today in taking our little department in '88 from 2.8 to now to over 36. It's unbelievable. So thank you. I salute you. I love you. You three have been dear, dear, dear friends. Then our state representative that's seated next to him, that carried us for so many years, didn't only carry the Bossier Sheriff's Office, but carried Bossier, carried Shreveport, carried Spring Hill, carried Minden, and carried everything he could carry. Because this man was truly, if you dissected him, and I'm talking about Representative Billy Montgomery, he was a public servant, public servant, a public servant. And Billy, thank you for being my friend first of all, but thank you for taking us where we are today. Billy took the contract that George, Lowe, and Jimmy had put together, and he flipped it over into a state statute so that we would not have to go fight in the